Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Kratsios, thank you for being here today. It's good to see you again. As the Chairman mentioned in his opening statement, several weeks ago this committee marked up 10 different bills on the topic of AI regulation, and I'm very proud that this committee is leading on that issue. Amongst those bills was a bill of mine to codify the Center for AI Security and Innovation, or NAIR, CASE, and task CASE with many roles, including improving and evaluating the security and reliability of advanced AI systems. And as we've seen with yesterday's disclosure of the loss of control at OpenAI and the subsequent hacking of Hugging Face, that just underscores the urgency of CASE's mission. One of the items of disagreement within the committee was the level of resource to give to CASE. And part of the controversy was that there are elements of CASE's job that fall in the jurisdiction of other policy committees here in the House. And so as we work through the process and with all of the different policy committees in crafting a federal regulatory framework for AI, it's really not clear until we get done with that what the overall responsibilities of CASE will be. So let me ask you, based on the responsibilities that we've given CASE so far, is CASE adequately resourced to execute on its mission?
I think CASE could certainly benefit from more resources. It is, to begin with, forget even this particular topic of AI, it's very hard to recruit people to work in government. Layering on the fact that for the particular type of experts that you need to do the testing and evaluation of these models, these folks could work in the private sector and make orders of magnitude more in compensation. So I think what's important for us is to be able to create an organization that can recruit high talented people to come for tours of duty and to be able to do the important work of the testing and evaluation of these models, and that does require resources.
Right. Well, that remains an item of discussion here. I think the legislation that we passed, which was my bill, resourced CASE at $25 million a year. I believe that the amount of resource truly needed when the dust settles here will be closer to $100 million a year, but we look forward to partnering with you to figure out what the amount of resource is to enable CASE to execute on its important mission. One of the other things that we did 2 weeks ago when we marked up legislation is to codify NAIR, the National AI Research Resource, which is going to be a critical piece of making sure that we democratize access to advanced AI research and allow it to be done outside of the setting only in private companies behind closed doors, and to allow it to remain to be done in settings like academia and by entrepreneurs. What steps is OSTP taking to ensure that access to resources for AI research and development are democratized and broadly available?
Yes, we've encouraged NSF to continue to pursue and build out the pilot that they did for the NAIR. One of the core tenets of Science: A New Golden Age is, again, reorganizing the scientific enterprise to support the individual scientist. And what we have seen as this AI revolution has taken over is that the resources that you need in order to do cutting-edge AI research are not trivial to acquire. And having pooled resources, which the government can help with private sector to create opportunities for scientists to tap into, is really, really important and increasingly even more important. So we continue to encourage that and try to find programs both at NSF and at DOE to make that happen.
Right. So you and I have had several discussions about the Genesis mission. I find that tremendously exciting, and I think I agree with you that it's going to catalyze a new era of discovery by partnering advanced research with artificial intelligence to push forward the boundary of human knowledge. The Genesis mission executive order identified a few priorities for the Genesis mission. Among them were AI and quantum computing, but also among them were fusion energy, which I think you and I share a passion for. As chairman of the Fusion Energy Caucus, that's something that we have been very focused on. However, the administration's fiscal year 27 budget included a request for $1 billion for AI and quantum, but no corresponding investment to accelerate commercial fusion deployment. So can you elaborate on what the administration's current federal strategy is on fusion?
Yeah, so you may have seen recently the Department of Energy released their Fusion Science and Technology Roadmap. And in the fiscal year 28 Research and Development Priorities Memo that me and Director Vogt released yesterday. We talk about the importance of national science and technology missions, and we list out 4 of them, and one of them is fusion. And our hope is that through the budget process, we can establish a way that we can demonstrate commercial fusion power in the U.S. by the mid-2030s, in line with the roadmap that DOE put out.
Okay, well, I mean, it's going to require partnership between Congress and the administration to get that funded, and commercialization is an important part of that strategy. So I see my time's expired. I could ask a dozen questions, but I thank you for your presence here.
I'd like to recognize the